Hi, I'm Dino Fauci, and this is a session on basic hard rock drumming techniques. I'll be including some hand and foot exercises to help build power and control. Move on to some rudiments and show you different ways to move them around the set to make them fun to play. I'll get into some beats with accompanied fills and show you different ways to play them, make them a little more interesting. And then last, we'll get into some rhythm tracks, show you how to get into the groove, keep the groove, add color to the song and accenting. But first, how about if I tell you a little bit about my kit? I'm currently using the Thomas Superstar Extras with power toms. Starting down here, I have two 24-inch bass drums. Moving to my toms, I have a 12, 13, 14, 15 with a 16-inch floor tom. My snare drum is a chrome 6.5 by 14-inch king beat. Over here on my left are octobons. What these are drums that are the same diameter around, but they're different in length, and they give you a Latin percussion type of sound. My cymbals are all Zildjian. Up here I have an 18-inch thin crash. This side I have a 20-inch medium crash, 16-inch medium crash. This is an old pair of heavy rock Zildjian 14-inch hi-hat cymbals. Down here I'm using some quick beat hi-hat cymbals, also 14-inch. I'm using a 12-inch splash, and my low China boys are a 22-inch and a 20-inch. My ride is a medium rock ride. Surrounding me is a Tama Tower support system. It's quite unique. As you can see, I need a lot of stands to support everything I have in here. Another nice feature is every time you set up, the clamps are in the same place. Your drums are in the same place every time, which is quite nice. I like it a lot. It works out good for me. So now that you know a little bit about my kit, let's get into some hand and sticking techniques, okay? My first guess is most of us drummers, when we first start playing drums and we've never had any professional instruction, we grab our sticks like this, real tight, thumb up. I'd like to show you a different way that helped me out quite a bit on building power and coordination. This method, you take your hand, you first crease of your finger and the stick lies right there. Your thumb's directly behind. Turn your hand over. The stick is to fall right on your lifeline. Play back on the stick, almost to the end. Okay, now take your fingers and lay them right on the stick. You'll see a little opening in your hand. Try to keep that there. Now when you move your stick, your hand comes up. Your fingers always stay on the stick. Don't have your fingers out here. They're not going to do any good out there. Keep your fingers here, and when you bring your hand down, your fingers force the stick into your lifeline, and it's a snapping motion. Now if you haven't noticed, these two fingers are your weakest fingers. So there's an exercise to build those. We're going to take our middle finger off the stick and do the same motion. Now you're going to feel your hand tighten up, and that's good. Keep going. Make it hurt a little bit because you're strengthening those muscles. Now you can do it alternating sticks, or you can do it one at a time, whatever's best for you. But I recommend you do it 100 times. I'd like to show you a method on a hi-hat cymbal. If you're playing a lot of hard, fast music and you're playing this method, chances are you're going to feel your forearm tightening up, and it's like, when am I going to get in shape? I had the same problem. I kept playing and playing, forearm would tighten up. Use the same sticking technique I just showed you. Turn your hand over, and there's two ways to play it. We can stay right on top of the hi-hat cymbal with the tip of our stick. Notice the rocking motion of my elbow. It pivots like this. The other way we can do is use the side of the stick to the tip of the stick. This gives it a different type of sound. I'd like to talk to you now a little bit about accenting. Accenting is a very important part of dynamics, and you knew that, right? I'm going to play you a beat using no accents, no dynamics, and then I'll play you one using them. Let's hear the difference. I'd like to give you a little example of a sticking exercise you can use for accents. We'll just be playing 16th notes. Now I'll show you the same example I just played on a snare drum, hitting the downbeat accents on different toms. Ready? So concentrate on accenting and play around with it a little bit. You'll find out that knowing how to use dynamics and accents will make you a better player. So now let's talk a little bit about our feet. I'm going to show you some bass drum exercises that will strengthen your foot, make it a lot faster and stronger, and show you some independence using your hi-hat. First, the position of my bass drum. I keep my foot about halfway up the pedal. And a good exercise that I like to use is I just make a little rhythm in my head. Let me show you. That's one method, just to keep that as an endurance thing. You can play straight 16th notes or make up any type of pattern you want, but the thing is to keep your foot moving at all times and get faster and faster. Another thing that you can do is follow your hand. Do a 16th note pattern with your hand and follow it with your foot, or break it up. It'll sound like this. Or you can move it around the drum set. So you can see you can have a lot of fun with this, and in the meantime, you're going to be getting a strong and fast foot. Moving on to the hi-hat, there's two ways you can keep your foot on your hi-hat. One is with your heel up, like this, keeping time. The other, if it's more comfortable, you can rock down on 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Playing a beat. So listen, try it both ways. Try it with your heel up, try it with the rocking motion, heel toe, whatever feels most comfortable for you. But you'll find out that it'll help with your keeping of time, and we know how important that is. So, with further ado, let's get into Rudiments, shall we? You'll have to excuse me. I had to get something to drink. It's getting a little hot here. So, check this out. Those are Rudiments. Combination of double strokes and paradiddles around the drum set. While you're practicing them, you might think, hey, these are boring. But as you just saw, they're kind of fun. And you can even break them into beats, which I'll show you later. But first, I'd like to show you what a paradiddle is and a double stroke. Paradiddles consist of right, left, right, left, left. Looks like this. Double strokes, 2 strokes with each hand. Here's another exercise to kind of help you along and get through your rudiments. Get your hi-hat going. Set a tempo for yourself at a speed that you're comfortable with. Same with the double strokes. Get your tempo going. Here's an example of using paradiddles around the drum set. This will be a series of using double strokes around the drums. Let's take everything that we've just gone over and we'll apply it to playing beats and fills. I'll play you one beat, show you one way to play it. I'll play it a different way, give you a different idea, and then I'll play it with an accompanied fill. So let's have some fun and get started with beat number 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your basic 4/4 rock beat, and I'll show you a different way to play it. All I did was reverse the beat around. Now I'll show you the fill to accompany that beat. Ready? Now I'll play them together. Beat number 2 is going to be a straight ahead rock beat with the bass on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4, and then I'll show you what we can do with it just to change it just a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is play the snare drum on the and of 3 and the and of 4 and drop the bass drum. Listen. We can change it one more way. We can pick up the and of 4 with the bass drum. Now I'd like to show you the fill that will accompany that beat. Once again. Now I'll combine the two. Ready? Beat 3 will be counted out 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Okay? This is how it sounds. I'll show you a different way we play it. I'll be playing it on the ride, and then I'll accent the 2 China boys and an opening of the hi-hat. It'll sound like this. Okay, now let me show you the fill for beat number 3. Put them together. And beat number 4 is kind of a cool beat. Listen for the opening and closing of the hi-hat. Now what I'm going to do now to change that beat is I'm going to play the pattern on the ride cymbal, and I'm still going to get the opening and closing of the hi-hat cymbal. I'm going to get it with my left hand. It'll sound like this. Now I'd like to show you the fill that will accompany that beat. I'll also be playing it on the snare drum. Now I'll combine the two. Ready? Beat number 5. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change over to the ride cymbal, play quarter notes on the ride, and I'm going to drop one note of the bass drum. See if you can hear it. Okay, now I'm going to show you the fill for that beat. Slower. Now I'll play the two together. Okay, this is beat number 6. It has a triplet feel. Have a listen. What we can do to change this beat around a little bit is play on the ands with your snare. It'll sound like this. Okay, now I'll show you the fill for that beat. Series of flams. Now we'll combine the two. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we'll move on to beat number 7. Okay, what I'm going to do now is play syncopated quarter notes on the hi-hat. It gives it a different feel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the fill for that beat. Once again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we'll play them together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, beat 8's a fun little hard rock beat. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now a different way to play it is playing 16th notes on the hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll show you an accompanied fill with that beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play it one more time slow. Okay, now we'll play them together, show you how it sounds. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's beat number 9. Listen for the fast kick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now change that beat around a little bit. If you don't want to play that fast kick that I just did, we'll pick up the accents on it. It'll sound like this. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we'll do a little fill for that beat. Okay, now I'll combine both beats and the fill. Here's what it'll sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now in beat number 10, we're going to be going back a little bit, back to where I showed you rudiments and the paradiddles. Now, I showed you what you can do with paradiddles around the drums using fills. Now, let me show you a paradiddle beat that you'll have a lot of fun with. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm doing here is I'm replacing the right hand with the right foot. Playing eighth notes on the hi-hat. Okay, now I'll show you a different way to play it. Now this way I'm going to be playing the right hand sticking with my right foot and using the right hand sticking on the hi-hat cymbal. It'll go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here's that fill for beat number 10. Go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll play it for you slow. It's paradiddles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, We're going to combine the beat and the fill and show you what it sounds like. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the next beat. I'm going to be playing double bass on this one, and then I'll show you how we can play it on single bass. First, here's double bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we can play with one foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to show you a fill that we can put with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll play it slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to combine the two together. Here's how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I just showed you some beats, and play around with them, have some fun with them, change them a little bit, make up your own beats. Off the beats I've showed you, make up your own fills, change them around, and experiment, be creative. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about just what exactly a drummer's main function is within a band. Our most important function is keeping good time. Our job is being the timekeeper. You have to learn to set the groove and stay in it through the period of the song. If you go out of time, the whole band will go out of time and it's a mess. And it takes a while to get back on. And you might have some angry band members. Our second function, coloring and phrasing, very important. What I mean by coloring and phrasing is listen to the song, listen for specific accents, melodic fills, follow the song. Listen for an accent. Oh, I can play off of this, or I'll put a fill to play to this melody. There's a saying among us musicians, and that is, sometimes less is more. A lot of drummers make the mistake of playing too much, and it takes away from the song rather than adding to it. Being a good drummer is knowing when to play and when not to play. So keep that in mind. Flash. Let's talk a little bit about being flashy. Being a good performer and being a flash drummer is very important. But if you don't know how to keep good time, if you can't lock into the groove, and if you don't know how to color and phrase the song, you're never going to make it to the stage to show off all your flash. So first, learn good timekeeping. Lock into that groove, stay in there. Concentrate on that. Second, listen carefully to your coloring and your phrasing. Third, should be flash and performance. I think if you follow that, you'll grow into becoming a very good drummer, and you'll stay busy. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to get in some tracks. And the first time I play it, I'm going to play it, I'm just going to feel it. I'm going to get the groove going, and I'm going to get the beat going. I'm going to get the pulse. And I'm going to be listening while I'm playing that to certain melodic things that are going on in the song and certain accents that I can play. And then I'll play it a second time how I hear it. Then after that, you listen to it and see how you would play it. See what you would do. Maybe it'd be something like I play. Maybe it'll be totally different. But that's what's great about being individuals. Think of your own thing. It's unlimited what you can play, but concentrate on making it fit. So let's get started with the tracks. Okay, so on that track I played pretty straightforward, just felt the groove, went through the song and listened to what I can do. And now I'm going to show you how to color it. Let's see if we're thinking the same. Okay, let's go with track number 2. Okay, now again I'm going to change this beat, add some color to it, show you how it sounds. Ready? Okay, now in that track, if you listen the first time, the bass player was real dominant. I followed the bass player, locked in with him. Remember, your bass player is your best friend. You two have to be tight and together. You also heard a little airspace the first time. I filled that up with a fill. So listen for those types of things. Let's move on to track 3. Now, here's the track again, and I'm going to color it up a little bit. Here we go. Okay, here we go with track 4. I'm having fun. I hope you are. Now again, I'm going to change this beat, add some color to it, show you how it sounds. Well, that's the end of this session. Hope you had a good time. I sure did. And I hope there were some things that you learned today. I hope you benefit from them, and I'm sure you'll become a better drummer. Be creative and experiment all you can. And remember, work on your timing, phrasing, coloring the song, and then work on your flash. So, happy drumming. Take care. Bye.